Hello, everybody. My name is Jaren Garcia, and I've been working with my team to break down Walmart's supply chain and operations. First, we're going to start with their SKUs. We went department by department. We looked at produce, frozen foods, dairy, and then clothing and apparel, which was the different one from those three. Starting with produce, 600 to 1,200 SKUs with a high turnover and shelf life. That's pretty understandable with how quickly that expires. It's mostly direct store-to-store delivery from regional suppliers, and the inventory is managed daily because of that high turnover and short shelf life. Onto frozen foods, which is pretty similar because it does expire pretty quickly if not in a temperature-controlled area. That's why you have those temperature-controlled logistics, and it's 2,000 to 3,000 SKUs. Dairy, again, pretty similar, 1,000 to 1,800 SKUs. Mostly direct store delivery, again, because of that expiration quickly. They actually use the Walmart's refrigerated trailers, which I'm going to talk about some more when we talk about Walmart's transportation. And it's daily by daily to buy daily inventory turns, just because, again, the high turnover. Which clothing and apparel is the one different one from those, as that's obviously not a food or a drink, and that is 2,000 to 3,000 SKUs, which you see a large jump. And it has the seasonal variability, as well as it requires some flexible warehousing due to how many you're going to have in that inventory. As we move on to mapping out Walmart's transportation, which I talked about a little bit previously, we start with the distribution centers, which are a huge deal in moving inventory, moving products, whether directly to the store or other distribution centers. In 2019, Walmart operated 173 distribution centers in the U.S., totaling 125.8 million square feet. That has drastically grown now that we're in 2025. They utilize what's called the hub and spoke model. Each DC supplies stores within 1 day's driving distance. That helps them maximize route efficiency and reduce costs. About 77% of the merchandise moves through these DCs. That's a large percentage, with the rest going from directly to the store from the retailer or wherever they're getting these inventory from. In 2019, though, Walmart began adding what they call consolidation centers that are 3 times faster than the traditional DCs. And again, you see a huge growth in those from 2019 when this case was presented to 2025 now. They utilize what's called a private truck fleet. Walmart operates one of the largest private fleets in the U.S. with nearly 8,000 employees, 6,000 tractors, 53,000 trailers, 5,600 refrigerated trailers, which I know I mentioned previously on a slide for their dairy products. That's very large, and again, that has also increased since there has been that 6 years now. The fleet is centrally managed for route optimization and uniform operating standards. It kind of minimizes, sometimes you can see if a company is using an outside third party, you see that miscommunication between the dispatchers, the truckers, and the stores. That's where you can see delays in inventory being provided. So again, that's why they utilize this huge fleet. It minimizes some errors. But they do also use the third parties. Mainly for the last mile deliveries, they'll use third parties or crowdsourced services like Spark Delivery, Corner Shop, Point Pickup, Skip Cart, Axle Hire, and Roadie. All these have been partnered with before to utilize for different last mile deliveries. Since we've had a chance to dive deep into the SKUs, transportation, and everything that goes along with their supply chain and operations, we can now look towards the future and kind of look at like what we would do to improve by 2030, 2035 within the future. And it starts with modernizing that private fleet that I talked about. They can expand that private fleet and convert it to electric or hydrogen-powered trucks. That lowers fuel maintenance costs. The overall goal is 30 to 40% of the fleet is transferred over by 2030. You can also implement autonomous driving into this private fleet. You can partner with companies like Aurora, Gatic, and TuSimple in order to deploy autonomous middle mile routes between these DCs and stores. And the goal would be for 20% of these DC to store miles being driven autonomously by 2035. You can utilize, we're going to talk about some more utilizing AI that can also be utilized in the private fleet. Next, you want to improve that warehouse and distribution. We can expand upon those consolidation centers that I talked about. They started establishing in 2019, and power them with AI-powered inventory technology. AI will be able to orchestrate whether products should go to the retail store, micro-fulfillment hub, or directly to consumer shipping. And again, you can utilize AI as well as the use of advanced robotics and IoT sensors. These technologies can be used to predict capital health on our machinery and reduce operational errors. Lastly, we can redefine how it is going to the store, utilizing pickup lockers and drone delivery services, which is really cool, where customers don't even have to go to the store.
Here's the simple version of how Walmart moves product. Walmart doesn't operate just one big warehouse. They have a whole network of distribution centers across the country, and each one has its own job. Some handle groceries, some handle perishables and frozen goods, some handle e-commerce orders, and some handle returns. They put products where it makes the most sense, so the flow doesn't get skewed at one location. The really smart part is how they place their stores. Walmart purposefully build stores close enough to distribution centers that a truck can reach them within about a day. That keeps transportation costs low and down and gives Walmart the flexibility if something goes sideways upstream, somewhere upstream. They react fast because the product isn't days away, it's local. And this is the part that gives them a massive advantage over their other retailers. Their stores function like mini warehouses. Over 4,600 stores spread across the country, holding product right now next to the customer. Most Americans live about 10 miles of a Walmart. It's typical that you find one at every street corner. They don't have to build new fulfillment centers. The stores already are fulfillment centers. They also added consolidation centers. Those take shipments from different suppliers and group them into full orders and then send them to the main distribution centers. That prevents partial shipments and helps reduce stockouts. And so the bottom line is that Walmart puts inventory close to people before they even buy it. That's why they move so fast. So now let's talk about the last mile, how Walmart actually gets the order to the customer. Walmart plays the last mile game differently than Amazon. Amazon ships from huge fulfillment centers. Walmart uses their stores as fulfillment hubs. Employees walk around the store, pick items directly off the shelves, and stage them for pickup or delivery. Because of that, the order is already 5 to 10 minutes from the customer instead of sitting in a warehouse potentially maybe 90 miles away. Customers have multiple options. They can pull up to do curbside, they can scan a code and use as a pickup tower inside the store, or Walmart will deliver straight to the house. For delivery, Walmart doesn't take on the full cost of running a huge fleet of vans. They use Spark, which is their own network of drivers, and then partner with companies like DoorDash and Roadie when they need more coverage that keeps the cost flexible instead of fixed. And then there's the more out there one, the in-home delivery. So Walmart employees can literally deliver groceries into the customer's kitchen using the secure entry tech. Not every customer wants that, but the people that do, the convenience is unmatched and the option is there. So the formula is pretty simple for the stores. And stores is warehouses, and drivers, flexible customers equals options. So they're not trying to copy Amazon. They're winning by using the assets they already have in their stores.
Walmart's supply chain has been one of its strongest competitive advantages, and it's what continues to set the company apart from major competitors. One of the biggest differentiators is Walmart's extensive physical network, with over 4,600 stores located within 10 miles of 90% of the United States population. Walmart combines the convenience of physical proximity with the speed of e-commerce. This gives customers quick access to fresh food, frozen goods, and over 100,000 general merchandise stock-keeping units. This reach supports Walmart's strong omnichannel strategy, where customers can shop however they want, whether that be through online pickup, curbside delivery, or even easy in-store returns for online purchases. Next, Walmart Plus's membership program, which costs about $98 per year, builds even more value for customers. Members receive free same-day or next-day delivery on groceries and general merchandise. Plus, they receive perks like fuel discounts, Paramount Plus streaming, mobile scan-and-go checkout, and even travel deals through Expedia. These features directly compete with main competitors while maintaining Walmart's focus on everyday affordability. Another critical part of Walmart's supply chain advantage is its cross-docking system. This process minimizes excess storage and inventory costs by transferring products directly from incoming trucks to outbound trailers headed to the stores. It keeps products fresh and shelves stocked without delays. Sam Walton originally designed Walmart's distribution model so that every store is within a day's drive from a distribution center. Looking ahead, Walmart's focus is on scalability and flexibility. The company continues to invest heavily in technology, automation, and AI to build a supply chain that can quickly adapt to future demand shifts and potential disruptions. Technology is truly at the core of Walmart's supply chain success. A great example of this is Retail Link, which was first launched in 1992. By 2019, it has evolved into a powerful real-time data platform that gives suppliers direct access to Walmart's sales and inventory information. This supports vendor-managed inventory, or VMI, allowing suppliers to monitor and replenish their products continuously. This ensures that shelves stay stocked while reducing the amount of manual management required by Walmart's own teams. Another major innovation is RFID, or radio frequency identification tags, which improve product tracking and accuracy through the supply chain. Walmart's use of RFID technology has generated around $500 million in annual savings by streamlining inventory management and reducing errors. Walmart's technology strategy revolves around two key goals: omni-channel integration and technology-driven efficiency. For example, customers can easily order online through Walmart.com or the app for pickup or delivery. In 2019, Walmart launched in-home delivery, a unique service where employees deliver groceries directly to customers' refrigerators using smart locks and body cameras. Pittsburgh was actually one of the first cities to pilot this program, demonstrating Walmart's push for convenience and trust. That same year, Walmart also began using blockchain technology for food traceability, initially focusing on leafy green products like lettuce and spinach. This system tracks produce from farm to store, improving food safety and ensuring quality. Finally, Walmart continues to expand its use of robotics and automation. Robotics in over 300 U.S. stores scan shelves and check inventory levels as shipments arrive, while robotic floor scrubbers in more than 1,500 stores help improve efficiency and free up employees for customer service. Together, these technologies make Walmart's operations smarter, faster, and more cost-effective. Inventory is one of Walmart's largest costs, so maximizing efficiency and minimizing waste are critical to maintaining its competitive advantage. At the core of this strategy is Walmart's everyday low price model. By keeping prices consistently low year round, Walmart reduces reliance on temporary promotions and creates steady, predictable demand. This stability allows for more accurate forecasting, better purchasing decisions, and fewer costly overstocks or stockouts. Walmart's strong supplier partnerships also play a major role. With its enormous purchasing power, Walmart negotiates lower per unit costs through bulk buying. Its VMI system, powered by real-time data from Retail Link, lets suppliers monitor inventory levels and automatically replenish stock. This approach minimizes manual inventory work, improves product availability, and reduces excess storage. Meanwhile, Walmart's point-of-sale system continuously collects customer data to identify buying patterns and improve demand forecasting. This technology helps Walmart adjust quickly to shifts in consumer preferences while minimizing markdowns and waste. Walmart's network of distribution centers, strategically placed within one day's drive of most stores, supports fast, low-cost replenishment and helps maintain product freshness. This structure shortens lead times, lowers handling costs, and keeps inventory levels optimized across regions. Finally, Walmart's private label brands, such as Great Value and Equate, offer customers affordable alternatives while delivering higher margins for the company. Private label products now account for roughly 20 to 25% of Walmart's total sales, reinforcing its price leadership and profitability. Together, these strategies allow Walmart to strike the perfect balance between cost control and customer satisfaction.
Hello, my name is Alicia, and starting us off, I wanted to ground us on the impact and the scale at which Walmart operates. Walmart is the #1 leading retailer in the world in 2023 by retail revenue. As you can see here on the far left, this lists out every single company from Statista that was a leading retailer. I zoomed it in just so you could see where Walmart is and some of the top competitors. Walmart is the leading retailer, so it just shows how successful and important it is to have these supply chain operations buttoned up. Let's now talk about their financial statements. Walmart is all about maximizing inventory while minimizing costs. So let's start with the income statement. This shows their income statement items from 2020 to 2024. Their net sales, as you can see, have increased from 2020 to 2024. I separated it out so that we can see the membership and other income in their overall revenue. Then we can look at the expenses, their costs of sales, operating, selling, and general admin expenses, showing that their operating income from 2020 to 2024 has steadily grown. However, if you look in 2023, there was a decrease that was bounced back to their highest operating income in 2024. Let's now look at some of the balance sheet items. So we can see their inventories, right? They're all about maximizing that inventory while minimizing their costs. Their inventories have increased from 2020 to 2024. However, they're keeping it very tight. And you can see their property, plant, and equipment as well too, leaving their total assets in the bottom column there, or bottom row that you're able to see they've grown. I also pulled out some just interesting ratios, some inventory to total assets, and you can see they keep it between 19 to around 23%, and their property to total assets are in the 44 to 37% range.
Hi, I'm Jaden, and I'm going to be giving a brief overview of some of the trends that we've been seeing in our finances over the past 5 years, beginning from 2020 to 2024. So first, looking at the accounts payable versus inventories graphic, we finance a lot of our inventory growth through supplier credit rather than through internal cash or debt. So as you can see, in 2020 through 2022, accounts payable remained higher than our inventory costs, showing that we financed a large part of our inventories through accounts payable. However, in 2023, we began paying suppliers down more quickly, so inventories rose above our accounts payable. However, in 2024, they switch again, which demonstrates that we've improved our working capital efficiency. And then next, looking at the total revenue versus total expenses graphic, this demonstrates that profitability margin has remained about the same over these past 5 years. However, the gap narrowed a little bit in 2023. Our growth comes with higher operating costs, and our profitability is dependent on efficient cost controls rather than large markups. So we operate on a lean model. And then next, looking at the growth rates year over year graphic, as you can see, our revenue growth has remained steady over the past 5 years. However, operating income is a little bit more volatile, with it taking a rather large dip in 2023. However, it was able to rebound and actually surpass what it had been before. And then net income is also a little bit more volatile than revenue, with the growth slowing down in recent years, but this is not a huge concern. And then next, looking at the SG&A versus cost of sales graphic, we can see that although it's very slight overhead is actually decreasing relative to direct costs, which is a good thing. And the consistent gap between these two demonstrates our ability to keep operating costs lean.